there. Today we're chatting with Shane White, the founder of The Match Artist, which is a photography company based out of Dallas, Texas.
Correct. Yeah, we're in Dallas and Austin. I'm in Dallas. My co-founder's in Austin.
Awesome, but it's true you also do some shoots in Minneapolis and Chicago, correct?
Actually, yeah, we do them all over the United States.
Amazing. So, how did you get started bringing The Match Artist online and into e-commerce?
Ooh, good question. So before this whole thing started, my friend Nick, who's now the co-founder of the Match Artist, he helped me take my Tinder pictures. And before he did that for me, life online dating was challenging. It was really hard, and it wasn't working for me. And then he ended up taking my pictures. It went a lot better for me. Ended up meeting my now girlfriend, who we met through Tinder, and I like to think it's because of the photos. So after that happened, I asked my friend, I was like, "Hey, we should help other guys with this," and it really is sprinted from there.
You're your own success story then.
Correct. I was the first customer.
That's awesome. So, can you describe the growth you've seen since you started and then kind of where you're at now?
Sure. Yeah, when we first started, we didn't really know what to expect or how, if people wanted this. We threw it out there right away. We did one weekend where it was like basically free just to kind of get an understanding of what this was. And we ended up getting one or two clients from that. And now we are doing on average, but it's anywhere from 5 to 10,000 a month.
Amazing. So, how have you managed to like acquire that growth?
Sure, it's all pounding the pavement. SEO so far has been our biggest one. If you kind of Google just various cities like online dating photographer, we usually pop right up. Always keeping a track of how much our website is, and sure enough, as our website traffic grows, so does our business. So even though it's a very physical, company, it's all about the web traffic, and that's what drives our growth.
You mentioned yourself and your co-founder. How many employees do you have at this time?
It's just me and him. He's all about the photographing life, and I'm all about the business development life.
Sounds like a really good balance. Your first sale that wasn't yourself, your first customer that wasn't you, what was that like for you? And can you kind of share that story a little bit with me?
Sure, it's funny how you remember these things. Like it was 2 years ago, but yes, I definitely distinctively remember. We had everything online set up, but we weren't really doing any promotion. So I honestly thought it was a mistake when I saw someone logged on and paid us $600. But wow, we emailed him, got in touch with him, and yeah, he would have been our first client.
That's awesome. So, what's maybe a mistake that you made early on that maybe, or something that you wouldn't do now?
I don't think I quite realized the potential of this business right away.
Mm.
When I first started, it was just kind of me and my friend just taking pictures of guys. But now I see it's taking off, and it's something I wish I would have doubled down on and tried a lot harder with right away versus just kind of treating it as a side project.
Mm. So, if that's something you wouldn't do, what's something that you think most entrepreneurs should be doing but aren't doing?
Oh man, so many. But I think a big trap that a lot of entrepreneurs fall into is they just don't do anything.
Mm.
Um, it's really tough because, like, what is the first step of a business? And the answer is like 100 different things. But just because there's 100 different things to do doesn't mean you shouldn't start with one. You might choose the wrong thing, and that's okay. But it's so much better to choose one thing, start working on it, than not doing anything at all.
Mm. So, how do you prioritize what to do? And like, how do you manage your time in that way with 100 things to do?
That's another good question. My photographer and I, we work off a system I developed that I'm hoping to share once I get a little bit more hashed out. But basically, there's 4 tasks that we have to do every month, 4 big
Mm.
tasks, and we grade ourselves on how we did those tasks. So every single month we meet, hey, here's your 4 tasks, here's my 4 tasks. At the end of the month, we grade ourselves. I grade him, he grades me, and we have to keep up a B average between both of us, or else we have some problems.
That's awesome, kind of holding each other accountable in a way.
Yes, accountability is
Mhm.
huge, especially when you have a co-founder, because no one wants to feel like they're putting in more effort than the other guy, or else there's some hurt feelings.
Yeah, 100%. So, what platform do you use for your online store?
So I'm spoiled, I guess, because I did go to school for computer science. So I think that is like really helping us. So I was able to kind of write my own tools. So we're not using
Amazing.
like a Shopify or anything like that. But if there's anyone nerdy out there listening, it's Stripe on the back end, and then we're using React and Gatsby to host the website.
So you mentioned you're not using a platform. You've written your own. So are there any kind of like social channels or like what ad streams, like what kind of tools do you use for your business to kind of promote it, to kind of like get it out there and raise awareness?
Sure. So yeah, SEO is the big one. So we're always
Yep.
blogging and that type of thing, reaching out to influencers, trying to get our site promoted. But one thing that I think separates us from a lot of entrepreneurs is we're not afraid to go offline. So
Hmm.
we have bathroom ads. I'm hoping to do billboards this year. Yeah, don't be afraid to get offline as well because that advertising dollars definitely still work.
Do you find with your business being more like kind of an in-person style of business, that the like the kind of physical advertisements work just as well or better than the digital advertisements then?
Really hard to track offline advertising.
Mm.
So that's like why I think a lot of people stay away from it. But I would say just try it because half of your marketing budget is wasted anyways. You just have to figure out which half is returning for you.
If your company disappeared, let's hope it doesn't, but what do you think your customers would really miss about you?
Um, there's, as we started, a handful of competitors have popped up, but we're the only ones who have like really packaged it together and like we are the dating photographers.
Hmm.
So I think our customers would kind of miss the whole fact that if they just went to a regular photographer, they might just get run of the mill headshots versus the whole dating experience and the whole profile delivered to them.
So, without spilling too many of your business secrets, what makes a dating photography different than like a standard headshot?
Good question. So like when you're swiping through Tinder, you want to like look and see like what these people do, who they are, like what really makes them them. You don't want to be like swiping through LinkedIn headshots.
Yeah.
Like that's really boring. So our kind of big thing is, a girl or a guy should know who you are, what you like to do, like really know, your story without even having to read your bio. They should be able to tell all of that from just the pictures.
Yeah. That makes sense. So, you really want to kind of encompass a sense of personality within your photos.
Exactly. And we're not afraid to get our hands dirty. So if someone's like, hey, I love biking, well, guess what? I'm on a bike or I've been in the kayak before. Well, Nick's photographing. So we'll really do whatever, we need to do to tell your story.
Very cool. So, what's next for the Match Artist then? Where do you hope to see the business in 1 year, 5 years from now?
I'm really hoping that it's enough to where, we can kind of get a small team of 4 or 5 of us full time and really kicking off some cash that, is able to provide all 4 of us a good lifestyle.
Hmm. So, then where can our audience go to learn more about how they can get their own awesome pictures taken or any kind of like information or tips you might have?
Sure, you can just Google The Match Artist. That's The Match Artist. Of course, you can go to our website at thematchartist.com, but just Google us. You'll find all sorts of fun stuff.
Awesome. So, everybody, go Google the Match Artist, book your own great photos, spice up your Tinder profile. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today, Shane. Lots of great tips in there. I wish you and the Match Artist the very best for 2020.
Yeah, thanks, Rosie.
Bye.
Bye.